Cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1939, 1939. Yes, I should probably point that out because last show I had
Mike's Daily Podcast.
the wrong number. And I don't want to shortchange myself. I've done 1,939 shows, and I should let everybody knows that because I'm an excellent rhymer and rapper. It could all get flushed down the crapper because it's not the best work you've heard in the rhyming world, I know. But my birthday's coming up.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A week from yesterday, my birthday's coming up. Less than a week. Oh my God. Less of a week for being 50.
Mike's
I'm 50.
Daily
But now I'm
Podcast.
I'm 51.
Yeah!
Exciting, isn't it? Let's take a moment here and think about the craziness that is some egos in this world. I would love to fire off an email and yell at someone right now because of their ridiculous prima donna ego. But I'm holding back. I'm holding back. Lord, hold me back. And it's basically that, what do you call it? That restraint that is so necessary in today's world. A lot of us don't because we want instant gratification. We want to instantly press that enter button or click that or send that text and say that thing to someone because we are just so irate. But you need to hold back, pull back, and restrain yourself and think about it. And maybe think about where your emotions come from. Because I think that the emotions sometimes are mingled with all this past grudge you hold and other baggage, and you just say, I need to pull back, kind of go through, open up some of this luggage, look through, maybe pull out a couple stinky socks, and maybe refine this a little bit. Because when we get refined, I think we end up being a little bit better as a society.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Just my 2 cents. Oh, it is just my podcast, so I can say what I want. The podcast picture today can be what I want. And it has been what I want for the past 1,939 episodes. And today's podcast picture here from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10 today, is the wonderful to say hi to him.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. I'll cut you. Oh, boy, I'm the brewmaster.
Hi, Brewmaster. Hey, I just want to say a real quick thing about Saugus. I was so sad to hear about the high school shooting. Saugus is, I know very well from when I lived down in Southern California. And we would go out to Saugus for all kinds of events and stuff. And it's a Basil. Anyways, it was very sad to hear about it. So, Basil is so happy, though, that you are joining us for today's podcast. Yes, right? There's more to say? Okay. I think he got it all off his chest. But I don't want to cut you off, Brewmaster, either.
That's all right. I'm done talking. Drink the root beer. I'll kill you. Oh, boy.
No, please. Not so much of that talk. Let's be kind to each other.
Okay. Oh, boy.
There we go. The kindness now is seeping into the podcast today, I think. That's good. Don't you hate being rushed? My dad hated to be rushed. You could not, if the more you rushed him, he's one of these people. Do you know these people? The more you rush him, the opposite effect happens. The slower they get. Wow. With me, like, I look at the clock. I got to be outside to catch that bus because there's a bus stop maybe less than a block away, and I got to get to it before that bus comes. And the buses don't wait. They come through, and if you're not there, they keep going, as you know. And so I have to rush out there. I've missed so many buses, and I just told myself, nope, can't check that, can't do this, can't do that, just got to leave it go. And that's rush society that we are in. But I get on the bus, and then I'm on my way, and things, dude, I don't have to drive, kind of like that. I don't understand the whole rush with the driving. I'll get there faster if I drive. Well, yes, you're also causing yourself all this undue stress and crap. But Mike, I get stressed out being on public transportation. Well, you shouldn't. You should relax, get some newspapers, read. I don't know, have a conversation with a nice person on a bus or a BART. There's that. You could do that. BART is our local train system, which is really amazing. Growing up in Southern California, where we just could not ever get it together to have a nice train system. Oh, yes, there's the metro train or whatever they call it now. But in my day, it just could not be done. It had to be buses. So I became a California driver. Drive, which is, let me tell you, ridiculous. In California, I'm anti-smog. Yes, that's my stand. I know, what a controversial stance to be anti-smog, but I am. But here's what I'm even more anti lately is smog checks. These are ridiculous and pointless. Oh my God. So my car is basically just about to pass the smog test. Everything is fine except for this one sensor that for some reason cannot get reset properly. And I'm getting really upset with my smog checker guy because he's telling me 8 different diagnoses. Oh, we got to run another diagnosis. And every time he runs it, he comes up with something different that I need to repair. I'm up to about $500 now. And my lovely lady friend is so nice to actually do, because I can't do this when I'm in the middle of the day. I've got work. So she's nice enough because she works later in the day to go and do it for me. And this is a headache. Gavin Newsom, get on this. And now the guy that was the mechanic that helped get my car close to ready, but it's still not ready. Anyway, he said, Cafe Anyway, that Gavin Newsom wants to privatize the whole smog check thing so that so at least with the competition, we're keeping prices somewhat low. And with Gavin privatizing it, it's going to be, well, prices will rise. Now, here's the thing. I know we're talking, the veiled chat we're having here, the subtext is socialism. And I went to a Republican event last night, and I heard a speaker just totally go after socialism by saying the next step, of course, is communism, is what he said. You're just, you get to socialism, then the next step is communism. And that's what, if you don't understand what Republicans believe, that's their big fear, is communism. Which is interesting because then we have a president that's all friends with Russia. Oh, but Russia's not a communist state anymore. Right, but yes. So that's that, which I'm sure they would laugh at me and go, Mike, no. Trump is firm on Russia. Doesn't probably hate, seems to have a good relationship. But right about here, I would play that clip where Trump says, I believe it's better to get along with Russia than not. We're outside a cafe anyway. The point is, I enjoyed the speech from the 2 speakers, from the Republican speakers I heard from last night. Very interesting. They're very smart guys. I can see where they're coming from. But they were so tone deaf when it comes to this whole gender identity politics thing. I don't think they quite get it. They don't understand. To them, they don't understand the whole binary world thing is going to go through a big change and a big upheaval as this next generation comes through. And the generation after that, and the generation after that. It's not going to be black and white, male and female. Listen, I am quote unquote straight, and it's pretty simplified in my world. Men, I'm just not attracted to you. Sorry. It's the women. It's the ladies. And I found a very lovely, lovely lady friend. But I understand also the whole concept of you can't pick who you love. You just, in the end, when you fall in love, you can't pick. And who am I to say you can't fall in love with that person? So, at any rate, it's just something that when we get into this area, I think as a political party, you really, it's not good when you start saying this and that, because the society will move on you, and in the end, you can't change the mind of them, I think, overall. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, there you go. You might disagree. Oh, but everybody should, just because it's in the Bible and it says, no, you can't. Well, you've got a whole bunch of people. So you're going to die, basically, if you believe that. You're going to die. I'm going to die. We're all going to die. We'll be dead. And that generation will be laughing at us if we take such strong stances like that. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, be careful of that in this world. But it is, and that's my controversial topic for today. How about the idiot California smog laws? Maybe not as controversial, but I think we could all agree there. It's a pain in the butt. But I'm also anti-smog, so there you go. See, life's complicated. It's not just black and white. It's more of an Earl Grey. And holding your restraint when you fire off an email. But Mike, I shouldn't hold on to that. It festers inside and I get angry and rah. Well, you know what? That's what walking is. I know someone who is so stubborn, who has to drive everywhere. And now she's complaining she's fat. But she drives everywhere. Who am I talking about specifically? I can't tell you. Shh, it's a secret. But they basically, they drive everywhere. They never, ever, 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 ever walk, ever. And they're doing all kinds of stuff like trying to eat healthy and cut the portion size and all that. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But you also got to exercise. That's the other thing. You hear that. It is so cliche. We have heard it a billion times. But that's the other thing. You have to exercise. And for me, why I like to take the public transportation, not drive, is because it involves me walking. And I need to walk. And I force myself to exercise by making it part of the thing. Like, I can't get from point A to point B without exercising. And when you do that, when you trick your body and go, I know you don't want to do this, but you have to do this in order to get to work, then it's a great plan. It's a great idea. It's a great bit of advice. And that's as I'm standing outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10 today, the last place on earth. That's what I'm telling you. And look who else is here at Cafe Anyway. Let's say hi to them. By the way, did you see the last podcast picture with the wonderful pancakes my lovely lady friend made? They're somewhat healthy. It's let's see. I think we cooked with oil. Oh, yeah, we did. Generally, we cooked with the spray-on oil, which is, I think, a little less in calories. But if you want that recipe, you can email me, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me 336-MM-DAILY. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast will try to be for the next couple of days. We took 3 days off because it was busy dealing with smog laws and people and work and all that. Just being tired. Oh. But hey, while I'm still awake, let's say hi to these people.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Wow, what a busy week.
Yes. What do you think about the upcoming generations and whatnot? Me turning 51.
Mike Matthews, I think it's great. We all get older and times change.
That's right. Times change. Things change. Time marches on. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, Mike, it's true that sometimes you have to hold restraint in your system because of things that go bad and you don't want to get thrown in jail. Mm-hmm. Huh? Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about these topics. You can leave a message at the Cafe Anyway line. 336-MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily, as in what this podcast as a whole tries to be. Take it away, Earl.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com.
Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait. Hello. One last thing. I'm going to be on the radio, 92.1 FM. If you are in the Contra Costa kind of far East Bay area, you can hear me tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to noon. That's Sunday, 6 a.m. to noon, or online at kkdv.com. And, of course, you can check out my website. Please do, because I spend money on it. MikesDailyPodcast.com.